You see, sometimes I'll move the whole toe and grab that pressure point. And then it'll come up into there. And then it's just different. With each toe, they're leading to different bands. Okay, so they're like mini bands making up bigger bands. Okay, so for, in the little toe, for example, we've got the outer little toe band coming from here.
Yeah.
We've got the upper little toe band coming from here, but the upper little toe band also comes from in here and in here.
Okay.
And, this is a bit of a debate, but I think it goes to the upper little toe band too. But this one tends to come to the delta band.
Okay.
This one will come to the delta, this one will come to the delta, this one will come to the delta. So will that. Yeah. And then we've got on the bottom, we've got this one coming from here through here and making up that bottom little toe band that then comes up through here and then up and around and up through here. Okay. And then we've got the bottom of these bands coming in through the middle of the bottom of the foot and making up the Achilles band coming up into there. Right? So one of the things that I like to do, because almost everybody, and if you notice just in this class of people, everybody's kind of tighten all their bands in their feet, right? So one of the things I often do with people is just get every toe loose. That may take me 10 hours.
Yeah.
With Yasir, I would think, I'd give myself quite a few hours 10 hours on each foot, maybe, on him.
You're stressed all the time, they're inside.
That's right. But you can see, if you try and rush this, what would happen?
Get overwhelmed.
Either he'd be overwhelmed or you'd be doing it superficially. You'd be going through the motions and not actually doing it. You're just doing some fucking thing that looks like what I showed you but isn't. Which is what a lot of people do, and then going, why didn't it release up here? Well, one, you probably didn't do it here properly because you probably rushed it, or because you don't know what you're doing, you go through the motions. Okay, so if you don't know what you're doing, what should you do instead?
Talk to them.
Yes, but what else in terms of release? Because talking to them, they might not know. Yes, talking does help.
Move further up the band
Until you can find where you can feel it and work it from there. I can't. Right? That's the important thing. Go where you can feel it and then come back from there. Okay?
How gradually are you applying the pressure?
How gradually am I applying the pressure?
To his toe, start out like so he can barely feel it, and it's just very, very slowly, or do you?
Yeah, I'm not jabbing in fast. I'm going in, but he could feel it even the first time, But even here, I'm going, because he's getting more used, well, he's still breathing and processing, obviously. But so I'd wait for that break, Because you can see, if I don't wait for the break, he's just going to pull away. So yeah, I could then come in and use my fingers, but I need to wait, and then I need to do either assisted breathing, or notice what he's doing with his hand, his arm, up on his head. What's that a good indication of? Energy in the head that I need to then come in and do a head massage, right? Or at least get that out. All right. So that's how I would progress if I was treating him for the next 2 or 3 hours. If I got that toe loose, I could move on to the next toe. Okay. It might, he might be exhausted after. He might go into a complete other state of consciousness where he's no longer deep breathing or working with me because he's sort of checked out for a while. Okay. In which case, then that's enough for today. You don't need to keep going. Even if he's booked in longer, it should be right. Come back another time when you're back in your body a bit more. That could even be enough. I think he could probably go for more. He's a bit, like Jeremy, or me. I'm like, if I can keep on going. But I do want to show you guys some other stuff as well. But do you want me to keep going? Are you learning from this? Yeah.
Do other stuff too.
I'll keep showing you the neck as well, but I think it's important to understand the neck in conjunction, not just as a technique, but in conjunction with how it works in massage, because it's so controversial. All right. How are you feeling, Yasir? Yeah. So again, we watch the breath. We might come in and do some more on his head. Again, I might even emphasize a bit more on this other eyebrow because I didn't really work on that. But I haven't worked on that toe, but so I can feel a major difference between his eyebrows now at that particular point. But I will do a bit more just to open it all up. And then come back to this point. And then just open it. Again, awareness. Holding. And then gentle movement. Then I can come into his jaw, because you can see he's sort of a little bit tight there. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. My fault.
A hot iron rod. See, I'm getting in there a lot deeper now. And again, into his ears now. Deeper. Again, we can do this movement with the neck where we hold back here and hold in the front chin. We can again even do that with a towel if we
But
need
where are you
to.
holding on this back of his neck? Just
Right
underneath
beneath his
spine?
skull.
Skull.
Yeah. And again, big breath. Do not put your, I actually have a grip like this so that my two fingers are away from his, yeah. And again. Gently stretch it. And then see how his neck's going.
It looks very tight that way.
Caressing the back here. Yeah, it is very tight.
Is that maybe why the neck's not going as well?
Yeah, oh yeah. And I want to do his neck, but I don't want him quite, there he is. I'll pull him back. And again, this is how we do the neck. Hand, we didn't quite want him in that hole, but hand behind the ear. Hand in front of the ear. Getting him to breathe in. All in one breath. And then we turn. And then check to see if he's letting go of his neck. Kind of is, kind of isn't. And again. In breath, out breath. And it's not ready to go. Okay, so it's a movement like this, and then back to the middle. How you feeling, Yasir? Good. So he's looking kind of relaxed now. We can come in and do some more. Could even use this if we want. It's a bit more fine pointed. We can come in on this one. You can see what gentle pressure I'm using here, yeah? holding and then shaking a bit. Yeah. And I'm almost there at that point where I can actually feel the tension. And the interesting thing about this area here is a lot of people have a bit of a callus there because it's so sensitive, right? I could come back even with this finer level of detail and come back to this point too. And just see if there's any little charge that he's still got. And then do the whole run over. You can see there's just little bits. It's not as dramatic as it was before. This one's a bit still charged. Where's that? So I could use either of the tools, or I could get the towel. Particularly if I don't want to pick up energy from him, after I've stirred up so much and there's so much floating around there, I could use the towel as an energetic barrier, and then come in and use my thumb through here, and start to move. Process that. See, this is a major holding point too. Once he's done with a bit of that release, I could then stimulate it more. And a big joint click happened there. Yeah? And that's where we start to get into more of our joint movements. See, we moved our way down there. And we let him absorb it. We don't want it to be overwhelming for him. So we'll let him breathe, even if he's a bit more comfortable being in that position. Let him breathe it into it. So we just take our time, patience and perseverance, you know, because it can be a bit uncomfortable for him at times too.
Did you leave it at the same pressure? Did you go up to a certain pressure and leave it as, or did you, were you increasing?
No, just kept
leave
it there. Just
okay.
until, well, let him breathe it out, scream it out, fart it, whatever he needed to do. But I followed the band up higher to the next junction point, and that hadn't really been touched. But see how quickly it shifted, just, you know, intensely but quickly. So now the whole band's starting to open up on the big toe belly, big toe sacrum. So now it'll be quicker movement. See, I did most of my time in that. Once I hit that first junction point of that first joint, then things started to shift real quick. How you feeling, Yasir? Good. Yeah, some clicks. Notice how none of those toes weren't moving before. Now they are better. So now I can start to think about moving that joint a bit. But I still haven't only done one side. I know he's a bit sensitive with that nail there as well. But I'm still thinking too that he's pulling his toe to the side here, so I may end up coming in on this side. Yeah? He's still really tight in there. So I've really only felt like I've started to get a good run here. Now if you feel here, you can start to feel that that's letting go. Just starting, it's 10, 20% better, 30% better. And I've done a bit here, okay? But I haven't done anything here, and it's being pulled to that side. So let's have a look at that now. Again, let him catch his breath.